Welcome to Concrete Conversations, the Indian Real Estate Podcast. I'm Akshay.
And I'm Yash, and we're the hosts of the show.
When it comes to real estate and technology, the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning is at the forefront of prop-tech innovations.
But what are artificial intelligence and machine learning? And how can they be applied to the real estate sector?
To decode this cutting-edge technology for us, we have with us today Sunil Mishra, the Group Chief Strategy Officer at Anarock and CEO of Trespect India.
With over 25 years working with leading firms such as KPMG Consulting, Bharti Airtel and PropTiger.com amongst others, Sunil brings experience in applying business intelligence across a variety of industries.
So, adjust your algorithms and get ready for a conversation that is guaranteed to optimize your understanding of artificial intelligence in real estate.
Hi Sunil, welcome to Concrete Conversations. We're really happy to have you on the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Yash and Akshay. Thanks a lot.
So Sunil, since this is about AI and machine learning and all these high-tech concepts in real estate, since it's such a niche part of the industry, I thought that it would be interesting to our listeners to know how you got into this kind of application in real estate.
Great. But first of all, let me remember my manners. Let me congratulate you both, Akshay and Yash, for the fantastic platform of Concrete Conversation that you guys have created. I think it's a great initiative for generating thought leadership content for the Indian real estate sector. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Coming back to your question on my career, you should never ask a grey-haired guy such questions. I'm a conventional engineer MBA. Did my electronics engineering from VJTI Bombay and MBA in finance and marketing from IIM Bangalore.
Right.
Completing both of these in the 20th century itself. So you can very well imagine. I spent about 14 years in the mobile telecom sector. Post that 6 years in BFSI as a CEO of a wealth management business, and the last 6 in technology-led real estate sector. So that's a rough way to skin the cat.
Right.
When I was the head of usage and retention function in Airtel, and I use the word specifically because it was a pretty pioneering sort of function. The job was to increase usage of customers and to sort of retain customers from churning out.
Right.
So this is almost 2007-8 when we had about 20 million customers in Mumbai, and we had all the data available of these customers here. So where did you make the last call? Like pretty scary type of data we had. We had all sort of slice and dice. And that's when we started writing sort of SQL's queries on this database to find out patterns of similar behavior. So it was pretty serendipitously that I got into data analytics at that age, and it wasn't even before IBM put their Teradata business intelligence tool in Airtel. So the sort of bug had bitten me at that time. So that in a nutshell is the path which brings me here to Concrete Conversations.
That's fantastic. Can you tell us about, the tech interventions that have led us to AI and machine learning, which is the latest intervention in not just real estate, but in many industries today?
Sure. So coming to what we are talking about today, AI/ML and how it has come to real estate, there have been 3 significant technological interventions in the global real estate sector and mirrored in the Indian real estate sector as well. The first was when the search and discovery process moved online, which was brought about globally by players like Trulia, Zillow, Rightmove, Real Estate Australia. In India too, this had started off with reality portals like Magic Bricks, 99 Acres and Makaan.com in early 2000s. So this was a revolutionary change with home buyers now starting their home search going on these portals rather than physically visiting their neighborhood brokers.
Right.
So they could look through multiple property listings in their locality on such portals and shortlist few of them online itself. The second technological intervention happened around 2007 to 2010 with smartphones, with Google and Facebook becoming the go-to platforms for initiating this search.
Right.
The third intervention of technology in real estate happened around 2010 to 2015. And as you can see, I'm moving around a timeline to the current timeline.
Right.
It was more at the back end of the business. So this came into the deployment of customer relationship management (CRM) systems, right, and in large-scale broking companies as well. So such companies started getting a single view of the prospective home buyers, from search to qualification stage to site visit to final booking. So the tracking of the sales journey moved from Excel sheets to the CRM system,
Right.
and thereby increase the productivity of the sales teams in that sector itself. So with every intervention, sales and marketing efficiency increased, and that brings us to almost the next evolution, which I'm almost forecasting or crystal ball gazing, is the large scale deployment of artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI, ML, within the businesses.
Right.
So in India, we think at the Anarock Group that we have fired the first salvo, having developed our AI ML algorithm Astra for maximizing revenue starting as early in the late 2019.
Right.
So that in a sort of a summary of the technology interventions that come to us in the real estate industry.
That's amazing. And it's such a unique thing, like you said, that now we're coming to a place where AI, ML, these technologies are being developed and deployed in real estate. So I was wondering what the process of creating something like Astra was, and how did you guys go about creating the database for Astra?
Great. So let me start from the very beginning and touch on the terms which are thrown around by these technology jargonists. It's
Right.
artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML, data science, right? So these three terms are thrown interchangeably.
Right.
So AI is almost the mother term for all these new technologies. AI itself has 3 or 4 buckets or clouds.
Right.
The ML piece by definition is machine learning, which means when the machine learns on its own.
Right.
And machine is nothing but actually a program, a software program called machine in this context. And those programs auto-correct themselves, so which is amazing.
Right.
Wow.
So these are not static programs which are written 30, 40 years back.
Right.
Here the outputs will keep on changing even if you give the same input,
Right.
because the programs have learned from the behavior. Within that, there is data science. Data science is actually a area of math, statistics, regression, correlation, and it means processing large amounts of data. So the fourth term which goes hand in hand with these three is the big data.
Right.
So big data is almost processed through mathematical and statistical equations written through data science, and the equations are nowadays written by in computer programs, which are machines. So that's where we use the term AI, ML, data science, and big data to some extent.
Right.
So to explain the process behind creating Astra and how we build a database behind it, I will just take a step back and I'll explain the problem statement we started to solve for the Indian residential real estate sector.
Sure.
So as an industry in India, customers buy about 300,000 new homes, 3 lakh homes in the top 10 cities of India. So 1 in 10 people who visit a project site buys the home. Hence, to buy 3 lakh homes, about 30 lakh or 3 million site visits are done.
Wow.
Wow.
To get 3 million site visits, we work on about 1 crore serious buyers. So you're saying I'm building the funnel for 10 million serious buyers.
That is not just big data. That is big data.
I haven't even come to the last step. To get those 1 crore serious buyers, our systems get 4 crore inquiries or leads.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's the whole funnel for Indian new home buying ecosystem. And these leads come in Facebook, Google, Magic Breaks, 99 Acres, response to SMS, calls, etc. in various forms. So this journey from 4 crore to 3 lakh homes itself poses the mother of all problem statements to solve.
Right.
Boss, looks like it's a steep curve. So then we found out, we double clicked because there's some duplication and all that in these numbers. The 30 lakh people, actually unique people don't come to visit sites, but
Right.
11 lakh people come, and each person visits 2.8 times to get 30 lakhs.
Of course.
But we figured out that there are 27 lakh serious buyers who have expressed a desire to buy a home, but they never end up buying this year and they go missing.
Oh.
So we set about to find out how to find some of these buyers and reintroduce them into the purchase process so that we could increase the number of homes sold, because 3 lakh is a very small number. China sells about 70-80 lakh homes in a month.
Wow.
USA also sells more new homes than India.
Right.
But we could start with the level of our company. So at the level of our company, Anarock, we always had a large scale sales ecosystem.
Right.
We are the largest sort of a new home real estate advisor in India.
Right.
We have about 4 million customer inquiries in Anarock collected over the last 3-4 years, and about 500,000 inquiries in Respect, which is our sister company running open market broking businesses.
Right.
Wow.
So, in addition to this, we are instrumental in selling about 20,000 homes each year. So, that almost makes us one of the largest home seller in India. We sell homes across 200 projects.
Right.
So this is a rich ecosystem for big data analysis and for applying machine learning to the behavior of home buyers.
Correct.
Right.
So we started developing this AI/ML models developed in Python. So these are propensity models, propensity to convert to the next stage.
Got it.
And they're developed and trained on the historical behavior data of home buyers in the Anarock system.
Right.
Because you asked the question, where was this data? So thanks to this CRM system, we have been blessed to have such a behavior data with us collected since 2017.
Right.
And that's why we are so open about it. I'm happy to come on this podcast and reveal the secret sauce. Because we have been building these models from last 2 years, and they have been learning, remember? Machine learning.
Right.
So we are very happy for people to start doing this. We have got a very big ecosystem of inquiries, and we have been doing it for 2 years. So coming to the how we build this model, so the characteristics of these successful inquiries, namely those 40,000 people who had bought homes ever from us, the characteristics were juxtaposed with those of the 4 million inquiries themselves. So 4 million at the top of the funnel, giving 40,000 homes sold.
Right.
And then multiple relationships were defined between the two sets. And these multiple relationships collectively is called a model.
Got it.
So the machine, the program itself started establishing a relationship between the 40,000 successful guys and the 4 million guys who come in, and then made some sort of a relationships between the top of the funnel and the sort of final output. So the models thus developed started predicting which of the prospective home buyers coming in real-time basis have a higher propensity to convert to the next stage.
Wow.
So this is goosebumps sort of stuff. Okay, now
Right.
today is 25th November. So the inquiries which will hit us tomorrow, 26th November, through Facebook, Google, Magic Break, whatever, calling, etc. The moment they hit our CRM, our models predict in real time that the score of this particular prospect is 63 on a level of 0 to 100. This score is 93.
Wow.
And then after that, it gets introduced into the calling system and the sales system. So though we know, it's almost like knowing that the next ball which is going to be bowled, उस पे लिखा हुआ कि it's a 4 or a 6, you have to hit it. So there's a higher propensity, as I said, to convert to the next stage. Again, reminding about the 4 stages being a fresh inquiry, qualified inquiry, sideways, and finally a booking.
Right.
So the pre-sales and sales team get alerted on the prospects with a higher quality score, those which have higher propensity to convert.
Got it.
So with more attention and care given to such prospects, the conversion percentage has increased by 8 to 10%. So this is actual data. In Anarock introspect.
Wow.
So this is the first set of models that we developed, the prospect quality scoring model. The second set of AI/ML models, they work in the last 3 stages of the home buyer journey.
Okay.
So the first model is called M0, the second is M1, M2, M3. So M1, M2, M3 collectively, the inquiries which sales teams have given upon are fed back into these models.
Okay.
So the failed and junk leads, and these models pick up, it's a scavenging sort of model. They pick out some of these inquiries, typically about 10 to 15% of these. And they say, Mr. Salesperson, I think you should have been more serious about this inquiry. You have rejected it for some reason, but please try this again. So these inquiries have been rejected perhaps because the home buyer was not in a good mood to speak when the salesperson had called.
Right.
Or she was quoting some other broker or developer at that time. Or more disastrously, our sales agent was not in a great state of mind at that time. So what was the reason? It was junk. So this has again resulted in another 8 to 15% increase in revenue because of lost sales getting revived.
Wow.
So these are 2 types of models which collectively form Astra. And first one has given us 8 to 10%, second 8 to 15%. So collectively, we think that if implemented properly, we have a 10 to 25% increase in revenue that can come through Astra.
That's fantastic.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I love the name Astra. Sunil, one of the curious things is our anglicized brains read it in English and we say Astra, but it's called Astra. Could you tell us the story behind the name?
Yeah, so the word is very much Indian Astra. And
Yeah.
on a lighter note, we keep on joking that when we take it global, we'll just call it Astra. So it is a tool, it's a weapon. In Sanskrit, it's a weapon. Actually, very technically, Astra is a weapon which you hurl with hand. So that class of weapons are called Astra.
Right.
So we decided to give this to the real estate community. And as I hinted that possibly we may use it as an umbrella brand for other use cases that we'll launch under the AI/ML, so that we don't confuse people too much.
Certainly.
Right.
In the previous question, you were talking about juxtaposing some of the inputs and building various relationships between data points. Could you shed a little bit of light on what are the various input variables that the AI system considers, and also the relationships that you were talking about that it builds?
Sure. I'll answer both, and I'll answer the second one in a cryptic way that I don't know the relationship. The first one on the input variables, which is foundation building question. So as you can imagine, the input variables become richer as the customer moves ahead in the purchase journey funnel.
Right.
So typically, just to tell you the number, we have about 15 to 20 input variables at the top of the funnel, which goes to a maximum of 174 variables in the Anarock CRM system when the customer is close to booking the property. So you can imagine a huge spreadsheet with all my 4 million inquiries as rows of the Excel
Wow.
Yeah.
and 174 columns as the variables. And I'll explain to you what variables are these, just to demystify this sort of word.
Sure.
Right.
So the 15 to 20 at the top of funnel, which incidentally go into the building of the M0 model, the prospect quality scoring model, are things like time of the day the prospect has left the lead, the day of week, possibly leads drop during weekend may be more serious, week of the month. As the rent paying time approaches, more people remember that they have to buy a house. All we have on the inquiry form is the name, mobile number, and email, and only 3 fields we have. So a very unimaginative, uncreative person would have said, I have got only 3 input variables. But see how we extract data information out of this.
Right.
Then from the mobile number, we found out which mobile operator. We'll find out which is the mobile circle.
Wow.
Is it a Maharashtra guy or is it a Bengal guy who's here? Email domain, Yahoo, Gmail, etc. Source of lead, obviously, Google, Facebook, from where the lead has come, that we know. Which project of interest, because mostly you drop an inquiry form for some particular project.
Right.
And through the project of interest, we can find out which price lab is she interested in, which micro market, is it Govandi or Bhivandi,
Right.
which configuration, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, amenities, number of amenities,
Right.
developer brand, category A, B, C. So these are 15-20 variables that we can extract at top of the funnel. Now, as the customer moves to the next stage, from which we build a M1 model, the first of the propensity model,
Right.
we add more variables like number of calls we made before she picked up the phone, number of times spoken with us, duration of discussion,
Right.
sentiment analysis. We also, in the CRM, from the column where the call center agent writes the notes, the program picks out the words, will go for site visit, that sort of positive thing, whether we need to call back.
Wow.
As you move ahead to model M2 and M3, the variables that get added are site visit done or not, number of times visited this site, meetings done, site visit done with family or alone. So you're getting a drift of how we build the number of variables itself from 15 to 20 to almost 174 at the end of the funnel.
Right.
And the question B that you had asked, which was what type of relationships did I allude to?
Yeah.
And I had answered cryptically that I don't know. And that is one of the fantastic characteristics of these models, is that it's actually a black box model.
Okay.
So actually, I was serious when I said I don't know, because the relationships, the equation also keep on changing.
Right.
Remember, because the machines are learning.
Right.
I of course know directionally that out of the 174 variables, which are or out of the top 15-20 variables in the top of the funnel, I know which are the 7-8 which are more important, because the machine, the model gives me this has got the maximum correlation and all that.
Right.
Right.
So if I can pull off a nerdy point on the polynomial equation which connects the two, which is ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus c. So the a, b, c, the coefficients of these equations
Right.
are the relations which the machine develops. However, these keep on differing with projects and micro markets, which we'll come to as we discuss more.
Sure.
So what I wanted to know is that since this is an iterative model, like you said, it's a black box and it adapts to the data and circumstances. Have there been any surprises that this model has kind of thrown at you? Any variables that turned out to be quite significant that weren't exactly thought of initially to be super important?
Yes. So the initial set of models threw a few surprises.
Right.
To start off with, we were really flummoxed with the whole insights on mobile operators, etc. And we figured out in one of the projects in Vadala in Mumbai, the customers who had West Bengal base mobile numbers were converting with a 70 to 80% conversion. And some of these insights actually we could never pin down, but the machine is sort of it is saying, hey, this is right, don't ask me how. So some of these things were interesting. As we moved ahead, when COVID lockdowns set in, we had built the models just before the COVID lockdown. We had started building in November 2019.
Oh, wow.
So consumer behavior changed during the COVID lockdown, and no sort of points for guessing why.
Yeah.
So we had to retrain the models at that time. People are not coming out. Site visits have become zero, obviously.
Right.
We had moved to virtual site visits. However, when the second wave of COVID came, April, May, June 2021, we didn't have to retrain much this time around. So the model itself learned, hey, we are in sort of a situation like which had happened in the past. So let me move in that direction in April, May, June. It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
And we could see this happening. That so the post wave one, it had sort of come back to its original form, and then again quickly within the first 3, 4, 5 days of wave two, it went into that sort of variable mode again. So this was one pretty interesting insight. The second one which I remember was we were trying to train these models also on festivals, because when we figured out a COVID thing, we said, hey, it should remember what happened last Diwali, and hence behave accordingly. Otherwise, it will throw results that are wonky. So unfortunately, we learned the hard way that Gregorian date festivals, right, like Christmas, New Year, etc., they repeat exactly the same periodicity.
Right.
But thanks to our 1,000-year-old history and following a lunar calendar, our festival dates keep on changing. So the model will train on its own. We are trying to crack that part. Okay? How do we get the lunar dates synced over years? So far we haven't. And of course, we have too many things to do. So this is one of the cute problems to solve, which we will.
Right. Building on from there, when we talked about the machine learning and the AI being able to predict the right leads, it pulls out from the junk and it turns around leads that have been discarded and say, hey, these are actually highly qualified leads. Why don't you try them again? Can it also predict the time or the turnaround time to convert that sale, that lead to a sale?
Very interesting. We actually have analyzed the correlation between the lead score and the time taken for closure. So our hypothesis was, and I suspect that's what you would be having since you've asked this question, is that leads with better score would close quicker. But surprisingly, we have not found correlation between high score and low duration of closing.
Interesting.
So people do take similar time for evaluating multiple projects and closing it. But then we figured out that actually we are working on a bit of a biased sample because the whole real estate selling system, we pick up leads only which will close in the next 15 to 60 days. We're all in a hurry to get revenues for this month and next month.
Right.
So a typical buyer would take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, right, to hunt for a home and buy. So actually, our whole sales systems are pretty primed to pick leads at the end of the funnel. So, and the chances of finding too much difference in turnaround time was always slim.
And just to follow up on that, now that we've established what exactly the AI calculates, on the sales representative side, are there any recommendations or, kind of nudges in terms of behavior tactics that can be given through these AI and ML applications?
Wow. Like you are, I would love to get you guys into a brainstorming team because that's almost the next stage of usage of these models. When the nudges come out, the nudges can be even customized to different salesperson.
Wow,
it's really mind blowing stuff. So this is clearly phase 2 and phase 2B. We have some of these factors like discounting and financing scheme, which is already part of the product input variables.
Right.
But what you're mentioning is one of the holy grail outputs when it's able to tell different types of callers and different types of salesperson, okay, hey, this customer should be told this or should be given this discount.
Right.
She will respond to this particular stimulus in the best way.
Right.
Well, that would be interesting, and we'd look forward to seeing how that plays out. You also spoke about the fact when we were talking about the turnaround time that's even though the customer has a high score, they still like to take their time to evaluate similar projects or a range of projects. Wanted to understand from you here, can or does an AI like Astra adapt its insights for different micro markets and target audiences?
Oh, absolutely. It has to. In fact, we have about 74 models built to cover the vast set of projects in Anarock residential mandate business.
Right.
So while the number looks big, I'll just break it down. So there are 21 models each for models M0 and M1, and 16 each for models 2 and 3. And these 74 models were created across the 13 cities of operations, the micro markets within these cities. So Gurgaon will have Gurgaon extension, New Gurgaon, Sona, etc. Micro markets.
Right.
Types of projects under construction or ready to move in. These two projects behave differently. Target audience by price slabs. Is it 40 lakh to 75 lakh, 75 lakh to 1.5 crore, 1.5 to 3 or greater than 3 crore. Number of amenities that the project has and type of developer, large or small.
Right.
So based on these 4-5 defining parameters, when we get a new project, we start off with the best fit model from these 21 models for that project. Then we use actual leads data of only that project to refine the quality of prediction of the model. So in essence, the 2-year learning of the Anarock models are a great starting point. And then we build bespoke models for the project on top of that.
Right.
Wow.
So we had to build 21 models to cover the insights for different micro markets and target audiences.
Fantastic.
And based on the work you guys have done with Astra already, has there been any micro market or maybe market segment where you've seen the maximum impact or the best fit in terms of using these models?
Not really. Again, the models are proven across our 13 cities and price slabs of 40 lakh to 4 crore.
Right.
Of course, the data quantity itself falls rapidly for much higher value properties.
Right.
Big data is required to build these models. So when the property is 4 crore to 20 crore property, there are only these many leads and these many walk-ins which we have historically.
Right.
So the quality of models suffer there. So you may hear some people saying that data science and ML won't work for those models. It is true, not because it can't work, but because it doesn't have enough big data to build the models on its own.
Right.
Got it. And we talked a little bit about this at the start when you talked about the revenue increase was ranged between about 15 to 20%. In some cases maybe more, some cases a little less. But could you give us a little bit of an overview of the overall value proposition for the developers who would like to implement something like this on the site?
Sure. So we have put the number there, the 15 to 25% revenue increase with almost as a badge of honor, because we have seen that happening in our internal projects, and
Right.
Anarock is a huge ecosystem for us to successfully claim that the proof of concept is done.
Right.
So we think that any developer who has got 1,000 crore turnover in a year and which has got some historical data coming in, we feel that if we implement Astra models end to end, then there is no reason why we can't generate a 15%, which is 150 crore of additional revenue for sales in that particular year.
Right.
So what we are giving is possibly sales velocity, if not the revenue itself. And sales velocity is of paramount importance because people have taken debt at high rates, etc. So there is a cost of capital there.
Right.
So we give sales velocity, we give marketing spend reduction, with the same amount of leads, we are able to sell more. And finally, we give a revenue increase or at least profitability increase, because out of
Right.
the 150 crore of revenue increase, 20% will flow to the bottom line. Rest will be cement and steel and labor.
Right.
But the 20% of that 150 crore is actually flowing into the bottom line.
Right.
One of the allied questions on this, which is a negative sounding thing, is, hey, does it impact salespeople? Will it eat jobs, etc.?
Right.
So the answer is no. Unfortunately for the management and fortunately for the people. But this will increase their productivity again by 15 to 25% and make their jobs easier. Because we need people to close sales. So real estate is a very physical and in-person sort of a sale process.
Right. One quick follow-up on the same subject is today a lot of the sales you see are linked very closely to channel partners. Does a software like Astra help shift some of the onus onto the developer sales team, or does it incentivize channel partners as well a little more? How does the trade-off work between channel partner sales and the developer sales team when they implement a software like that has AI and machine learning inbuilt?
Oh, super question. Because at a national average, almost 45 to 50% sales are done by channel partners.
Right.
So when we started building the model, and that's where the models of Respect and Anarock. Respect, if you remember, was the sister company of Anarock, which is into open market broking.
Right.
Correct.
And Anarock is more the exclusive sales and marketing partner of developers. So these two models differed because Anarock had sales coming from channel partners also, because Anarock was acting on behalf of the developers.
Right.
So half the leads that we spoke about actually are channel partner leads. And we just went about by first principle. So our model treats all the leads pretty in an egalitarian way and scores the lead. And if it is a channel partner lead which is being scavenged from the junk and failed lead, it goes back to the channel partner.
Right.
If it is a developer sales team lead, it goes back to the sales team.
Okay.
So we because in no way should we undermine any of the sales teams. Otherwise, this model will be killed by human intervention. And this is a very, very sensitive topic being discussed. So we have to be very careful about that. And so it's very simple principle. So that the model is transparent or agnostic to who is giving the lead. We give back the lead to the channel from where it has come.
Got it.
Right. The question I wanted to ask earlier, we were speaking about the value proposition for developers and how this helps increase sales velocity, the rate at which they sell their inventory, and also the efficiency of their marketing team. So how does a developer, for example, go about calculating a potential ROI on a product like this?
So this is almost a continuation of that topic. You're right. So there's a cost to building and maintaining the models.
Right.
The investment in building and maintaining the models is X.
Right.
So the incremental revenue generated could be actually 70 to 80x of the X cost of it.
Wow.
So even if you take the profit, the incremental profit upon the investment is 8 to 15x. So this is clearly a very high ROI investment to make, and this should be a sort of a slam dunk of a decision once people understand this.
Right.
And to follow up on that, the ROI you're talking about is agnostic towards the scale of the developer, correct? Could be a mid-sized developer, a small developer, or a large developer, if we've understood correctly.
Good point, because the cost of building the models would remain similar actually,
Right.
because the man hours will be similar. So the bigger the developer, the bigger will be the ROI.
Right.
Great, smart question. And yeah, I think I should include it in the pitch document. That the bigger the developer, you will have a bigger ROI.
So now that we know all of this about Astra and how exactly it came to be and the kind of benefits it's providing, what do you see as the way forward for Astra specifically, and also AI and ML applications for real estate going forwad?
Yeah, cool. So this is the beginning, as I keep on saying. There are two sort of dimensions of growth and proliferation of AI ML in Indian real estate. One is across use cases. So this is one use case which we mentioned, though it is a pretty big use case. It's the revenue funnel itself.
Right.
But there are other use cases, and the other one is across subsectors of real estate. So I'll talk about both these dimensions very quickly. So use cases are fantastic. So one is this Astra revenue maximizer that we have, right, which we just spoke about. There is something called Astra cross-selling identifier coming up, where we will be able to identify a customer who has bought this home and is behaving in this way can buy a home loan from us, can buy interior services from us, can buy more than package services from us.
Wow.
So it's a cross-selling identifier.
Right.
There could be an Astra creative optimizer. When I say creatives optimizer, so AI/ML will decide which creatives will work best with which type of customer on Facebook. And this particular use case is not unique to us. It's being done in USA, Israel, and China already.
Right.
Wow.
So it decides if Yash reacts better to an ad with a crimson background, and
Right.
Akshay reacts better to an ad with green background. The same ad will have different backgrounds when they come to you. So this is pretty neat.
Wow.
So see, it's pretty simple. Once you understand the concept of propensity modeling and how you can correlate data from one stage to another.
Right.
Then any particular sort of such situation where it applies to could become a candidate for this. There could be a post-sale solution that which customer will delay payment, which one will pay on time. There's a hiring solution, which again is that which sales agent candidate will have a good chance of being successful in our system. So these are the use cases that could sort of expand AI/ML across Indian real estate.
Right.
And when we go to subsectors, like this will be salivating because the rental broking, resale broking, which are very huge sectors, right? As you can imagine.
Yeah.
So we are just talking about new homes in Anarock right now. We can apply the similar stuff to rental broking, which customer will leave the home and move out.
Right.
Selling commercial and retail properties to homeowners.
Right.
So people are buying shops and offices, or society management.
Right.
So that's the two dimensions of growth, and there could be 100 such applications, hopefully, in real estate.
Wow.
Do you think that this could also help develop like a real estate ancillary kind of industry focused on just tech products for this industry? Because like you said, each subsector of this market is just so huge. So the applications can be, possibly endless.
Fantastic question. It's a visionary topic to discuss. So see, people have to understand that everywhere AI and ML is going to get implemented. Like in 2011, Jeff Bezos has gone and told to each of his heads of department that how will AI ML solve your problem? He didn't ask will it solve. He said how will it solve?
Right.
This is 2011. It's been 10 years now. So we have to ask that question.
Right.
But basically AI ML revolution is taking the world by storm. So India should be no different.
Yeah.
Right.
So this time Indian real estate possibly could be in the forefront of deploying this cutting edge technology and algorithms.
Definitely.
I think we've come to the end of our discussion at Sunil. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us on Concrete Conversations. And I must say this is quite an insightful and eye-opening conversation.
Definitely an eye-opening conversation for the both of us.
Great. Let's hope the listeners get into this and the sector changes for the better. Thanks a lot.
If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to follow Concrete Conversations on Instagram to know more about upcoming episodes and for some behind-the-scenes content.
For more deep dives into the world of Indian real estate, stay tuned for more Concrete Conversations.